So question 1 is a primary English question, belongs to the subject expertise section. It's a grade 5 question and the topic is parts of speech. So the question is, he didn't even have enough money to buy a candy. The word even is used to emphasize the verb, to show a feeling of surprise, to indicate that although he wants candy, he does not have the money, or to contradict the previous part of the sentence. So, the correct answer, before we come to that, so of course, the word even, we are discussing, the entire discussion is about the word even, and even, as we know, is an adverb, right? And what do adverbs? Of course, even can also mean a noun. If you talk about even, it can mean an adjective if you talk about even numbers, but we know that's not the context here. This is the other meaning of even, which is an adverb, right? Here the usage is adverb, and we know that adverbs describe verbs. So, firstly, we need to figure out, okay, what's the verb in the sentence then which the word even is describing? So, using this as a starting point, let's look at what the correct answer is and what the incorrect answers are. So, the correct answer is A. Like I think this, it was a second majority, the first one was C, but I think a good majority of you had picked A to emphasize the verb. So adverbs are used to put more emphasis on the verb being used. And here the verb is have. So HAVE, it's a myth. Many people assume that's not the verb, but that is the verb that's being used here. And or rather, there are other verbs, like buy is also a verb, but in this sentence, the word even is describing the verb have. And which is why even is used to emphasize the word have. That the person, he didn't even have enough money to buy a candy. Why are B, C, and D incorrect now? Let's quickly have a look. So B is incorrect but it's close. It's incorrect, but it's close. It could be a feeling when you're saying it, right? He didn't even have enough money to buy a candy. The speaker may have had any type of emotion. It could have been surprise, that's left to assumption. It could have also been disgust or like shock, that's left to assumptions. So while saying a sentence, right, it's not clear, and therefore we cannot assume that it was said with a feeling of surprise. Therefore, the more logical and clear correct answer is A. But B is close. Let's look at why C is incorrect. C is incorrect because this may have worked if the sentence itself was different, or used differently, which was, even though he wants candy, he doesn't have enough money to buy it. So in that context, if I had used even, then C would have been the correct answer. But in this case, that's not the context, and therefore C is not correct. Let's finally look at why D is incorrect. So D is incorrect because even is not an adverb that you usually use to contradict a sentence. So you could maybe even use an although or an even though, right? Or alternatively, or in contradiction, or in contrast. There's a lot of other adverbs that you can use. Even is not one of them, especially in this context, and therefore D is not the correct answer.